What's going on, Card family? Yankees Jets fan 71 back with another video. This is actually going to be a contest response video. I discovered a new channel thanks to my good buddy Eric over at Oakland 915. He did a response video for RJ Collects Sets. RJ just passed 200 subscribers, so congratulations on that. I just wanted to, chime in with my video response also. He is asking his people who view his channel to please submit a all-time greatest lineup of your favorite team. Now, I was originally thinking about going a different route, but then I just said to myself, I'll just stick with what I know best, and that's the Yankees. So obviously, you're going to see a lot of familiar names on this video. You may find a couple of names that you might be surprised that are in my lineup. But, just so that way I won't keep you guys waiting, we'll go right into it. So, at first base, of course, it's going to be none other than the legendary Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig. I could have gone with a list of players I seen play rather than all-time players, but I think specifically RJ wanted all-time, so that's why I have Lou Gehrig at first base. You mean gotta have Lou Gehrig at first. Lou Gehrig's probably in the top 5 players to ever play the game. If you really think about it, there's no other first baseman that's better than Lou Gehrig. I mean, you could always throw players out there like Albert Pujols. You could throw players like Jimmy Fox. You could throw other first basemen out there, but I honestly, Lou Gehrig, just look at the numbers, man. The guy was a beast. No one was hitting the ball like he was at that position, and no one has hit the ball like he has at that position. His 108, he had, I believe, 185 RBIs one year. I don't think that's a record that's been touched or even come close to. So that's why Lou Gehrig is obviously the first baseman on my team. Second baseman on my team might actually surprise some. For me, I'm going with Willie Randolph. Why Willie Randolph? Honestly, I think he's the best second baseman in Yankee history. Now, a lot of people are going to probably call me out and say Joe Gordon was. Joe Gordon, to me, I believe he played a lot of his better years with the Cleveland Indians. I know he had a lot of good years with the Yankees, but I think his best years might have been with Cleveland. I don't 100% know that, but for me, Willie Randolph is, to me, the best second baseman in Yankee history. He's not a Hall of Famer. The dude played with a lot of heart. He had great defense. He was at the top of the Yankee. No, actually, no, he batted second, I believe, behind Mickey Rivers in the Yankee World Series lineups in the 70s. He was Yankee captain in the 80s, co-captain with Ron Guidry, actually. But Willie Randolph, to me, is deserving of that second base spot for the New York Yankees. At shortstop, come on now, who else is going to be at shortstop? El Capitan, Mr. November, Derek Jeter. I mean, a few years back, I would have probably said Phil Rizzuto, but you got to go with the Hall of Famer with Derek Jeter. 3,000 hits, 5 World Series championships, Gold Gloves. Probably got robbed of an MVP vote. I'm sure Dustin Abraham will argue with me on that one, but yeah, Derek Jeter is definitely the greatest shortstop in Yankee history. Is, to me, no doubt about it. At third base, this also might surprise some people, but I went with Greg Nettles. To me, Alex Rodriguez is a shortstop. He's more of a shortstop than a third baseman. He did a great job at third base, don't get me wrong, but defense, man, come on. No one other than Brooks Robinson, to me, touches Greg Nettles defensively. I remember being a kid and watching Greg Nettles and seeing him make plays I'd never even seen or thought were possible. Asked the 1978 Los Angeles Dodgers just how much he robbed them during the World Series. And Nettles had power. Nettles also was clutch. He also helped the San Diego Padres make their first World Series back in '84. Unfortunately, they fell down to the Detroit Tigers, but man, Nettles was just solid defensively, and he could hit. He led the league in home runs one year. The dude can hit, man. And he was a fantastic third baseman. I'm surprised he's not hasn't won as many Gold Gloves as I thought he did. But to me, Greg Nettles is the best third baseman in Yankee history and deserves to be on the list. Going in the outfield, I'm not going to go left field, right field, center field, because these guys, because I have two center fielders on my list, and here's the first one, the Mick. Man, if all the Yankees I've never got to see play, Mickey Mantle might be the one I really want to go see. I would really love to have seen play. Switch hitter, hitting power from both sides. I believe he still holds the switch hitting home run all-time record. Dude was fast as a jackrabbit when he first came up. He was solid defensively. He saved Don Larson's perfect game in the World Series on a running catch. I believe if I'm not mistaken, he might have. I think it was Gil Hodges he robbed. Or it was either Hodges or Snyder. I don't know off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure it was Hodges that he robbed of a base hit. It was good. I believe the ball was going to fall between left and center field, and he ran and caught it backhanded to save the hit and save the perfect game for Larson. And even after all the other Yankees had retired, he stuck around till 69, still playing. He played first base in his final couple years. And fortunately, he didn't take care of himself, and we all know the story behind that. But for my money, I would love to have seen Mickey Mantle play, and he's my center fielder, or he's in my outfield, rather, in all-time Yankees. The next person up, you can probably have already guessed. The Yankee Clipper, Joe DiMaggio. This guy was class from all the videos I've watched on the ball field. He played the games with such elegance, and he was just. I mean, imagine if he didn't go defend our country in World War II. He lost about 3 or 4 years to the war, and he probably would have gotten to 3,000 hits had he not. And one of the most amazing stats to me is that his strikeouts, I believe, he only struck out like an insane low amount of times. The guy just put the ball in play, and his defense, if the Gold Glove was around back then, he would have won multiple Gold Gloves in center field. The guy was the perfect bridge from Gehrig, DiMaggio, then Mantle. And he stayed in the public eye after he retired. I mean, he married to Marilyn Monroe. Paul Simon wrote a song about him. Dude is just Americana. And that he's in my Yankee all-time outfield list. And of course, if you haven't guessed the third outfielder by now, then you haven't been paying attention to history. The Babe Ruth, is my number 3 outfielder. He's number 1 basically in every. He's just to me the greatest baseball player that ever lived. I don't care what anyone says. The dude saved the game after the Black Sox scandal. His name alone drew people into ballparks back in the 20s and 30s. I mean, at one point he hit more home runs one year than the entire American League did. That's just that's just insane to think about. He revolutionized the game. I mean, back then you were moving runners from base to base. This guy was the first one really to just come in and just say, "I'm clearing the bases right now." I mean, there were other home run hitters, but their home run numbers were really low. Ruth, I think, in his first year as a home run hitter, broke as a batter rather. Even I don't know if it was full time or part time, but his first year he broke the record with home runs, and it just got better from there. I mean, admit that his on base percentage is insane. This guy is just absolute money, and I still think if he played today, he'd be the same way. Babe Ruth is to me the GOAT, the greatest baseball player that ever lived, and he's on my all-time Yankees list. And since this is an American League team, and of course because I had to get my guy in at designated hitter, Reggie Jackson, the guy that captured my imagination as a 7-year-old. When Reggie came to New York, I was just mesmerized by this dude. I just only started watching baseball the previous year, and I didn't know who Reggie Jackson was. I didn't know about the years he spent in Oakland. And when he came here and he just started hitting home runs and talking with the braggadocious tone that he always had, he just, man, Reggie was my guy from there. Nettles was my second favorite player. Reggie was my first. And I still love Reggie to this day, collect Reggie. And Reggie, to me, I had to figure out a way because I couldn't put him over DiMaggio, Mantle, or Ruth. But then, of course, Yankees are an American League team, so we get the DH. That's my DH. 3 home runs in 1 World Series game, 3 swings of the bat. That's why. Catcher, another no doubter, Yogi Berra. Casey Stengel used to say the secret of his success was he never played a game without his guy. And the writer had to think about that for a second, then he realized he never played a game without Yogi Berra behind the plate or on the field somewhere. Yogi Berra, to me, the second greatest catcher in baseball history behind Johnny Bench. He learned when he first came up, he wasn't that great defensively. The guy could always hit. He just wasn't that great defensively. He had to unlearn how to play catcher and relearn it when Bill Dickey taught him. I think Bill Dickey was one of Stengel's coaches, and he spent the year in the winter and spring training learning how to catch, and it paid off, man. Another guy who, if Gold Gloves were an award back then, he would have won multiple Gold Gloves. He won 3 MVPs, for Christ's sakes. He was doing something right. He led the Yankees to the 1964 World Series, led him to Game 7 of that series against the Cardinals, which the Cardinals ultimately won. But he was fired. Stupid management back then just fired this guy for whatever reason. He went to the Mets. He led the Mets to the 73 World Series, and the Mets fired him. The dude just couldn't hold on to a manager position even after bringing his teams to the World Series. Another guy who is just another piece of Americana. You listen to him talk, and a lot of the stuff that we use today are in our vernacular. I mean, it ain't over till it's over. Nothing's more iconic than that. And to me, that's why Yogi Berra is Americana. He's the Yankees, and he's my catcher in the all-time Yankee list. Starting pitcher, another one that's pretty much a no-brainer, although I could have gone a couple of other routes. I could have gone Ron Guidry. I could have gone Andy Pettitte. But I decided to go with the chairman of the board, Whitey Ford. This guy rather came, I shouldn't say kid, he's no longer with us, but Whitey Ford was one of those tough New Yorkers, and when he came to the Yankees, he was in the minor leagues. He called the Yankees front office and offered his services to help the Yankees in their 49 pennant race, and that took balls. Not a lot of players did that back then. Whitey was also, of course, part of that infamous trio with him, Mantle, and Martin that used to carouse. But when the game was on, when the lights were on the hottest, Whitey Ford was money pitcher before the term money pitcher was out there. He lost a lot of wins because Stengel used to strategically place him against the other team's best pitchers. But Whitey Ford should have won 20 games more than the few times that he did. And I don't think he won 20 games until after Stengel left. The first year he won 20 games, I believe, was 1961 when Ralph Houck told him he was pitching every 5 days, no matter what. And he won the Cy Young that year. And I think he broke Babe Ruth's all-time streak for scoreless innings in the World Series that year also. So Whitey Ford was money. Whitey Ford, one of the greatest pitchers of all time, and he's my starting pitcher in my Yankee lineup. And I know this might be a little regular because I haven't seen any videos with relievers, but you can't have an all-time Yankees team without Mariano Rivera. Now, Mariano Rivera, when he first started, was a starting pitcher. He did okay, and good thing that one day Gene Michael decided to check the numbers on him, and at the time he wasn't hitting more than 92, 93. Numbers he looked that day were 95, 96. He thought the speed gun was messed up, so he called a couple of other minor league scouts that were watching the same game and just started small talk. He's like, "Oh, by the way, what did Rivera throw?" And the numbers checked out. And from that time on, he was untouchable in Gene Michael's eyes because the Yankees almost traded him for from Felix Fermin, I believe, to the Mariners because they needed a second baseman. And thank God that would have gone down as one of the all-time blunders by the Yankees had they traded Mariano Rivera for Felix Fermin. No disrespect to Felix Fermin, but he's not the greatest closer of all time, which some baseball historians mock the numbers because it's 1 inning, 2 innings, 3 innings, whatever. No one was touching Rivera. Rivera threw one pitch. Everyone knew it was coming. No one hit it. I think the closest guy who owned him might have been Ortiz, but other than that, no one else that I could think of could hit Mariano Rivera. As Chipper Jones once said, that he throws chainsaws up there. I've seen more broken bats than hits off this guy. Mariano Rivera to me is the greatest closer, and I've seen closers like Bruce Sutter, Goose Gossage, Raleigh Fingers, Dennis Eckersley. Rivera's better than them all. And come at me. Rivera's the best closer in all time, and that's why he's on my all-time Yankees list. Anyway, guys, that's my list. Again, RJ, congratulations on your success. Here's to 300 viewers next. Hope you like the channel. Hope you guys all like the channel. If you do, please leave all comments down below. Hit that thumbs up button if you like the channel. If you haven't subscribed and like to see more content, such as the one you've seen today, please click on the subscribe button. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Next time I see you guys will probably be a bobblehead video. Probably Saturday or Sunday. So be on the lookout for that. And guys, remember, Card Family for Life, SA. Peace.